Hello, I'd like to welcome you to this first in a video series I'm doing on JavaScript. This is the introduction. And speaking of introductions, let me start by introducing myself. My name is Charles Russell. I am with Bitterbird Media. I'm the technical director. And I've been doing JavaScript since 2003. It's now 2014, so I've been at this a while. I've even done some work for some major companies like Yahoo. Now, in this video, the introduction, we're going to look at JavaScript from the 10,000 foot view. We're not going to get too much into the details of the language, but we will kind of talk a little bit about some things that are confusing about the language, and we'll try to clear up that confusion. We'll talk about who owns the standard and in other ways that JavaScript is used. Now, first of all, I want to say that JavaScript is well worth your time as a subject of study. It was it is the most popular language in use today. But, as I said, there is a lot of confusion. Let's start with the basic one. A lot of people say that JavaScript derived from Java. That's not true. Other than having the same syntactical roots in C, there is no relationship. What is syntax? Syntax is the way that a language, at least in computer science, constructs statements and expressions. In that, there is some similarity. But structurally and philosophically, they're very different. Java is a complex language. It's designed for software engineers. JavaScript was designed as a simple language for beginners. Matter of fact, Douglas Crockford, one of the leading thinkers in JavaScript, and the discoverer, as he terms it, of JSON, says this about the language. Most of the people writing in JavaScript are not programmers. They lack the training and discipline to write good programs. But JavaScript has so much expressive power, they're able to do useful things in any way. And I kind of paraphrase that a little bit, but that's essentially what he's saying. But that's not the only difference. It goes deeper than that. Java is a classical language. JavaScript's a prototype language. And these don't mean what you think they do, I suspect. A classical language like Java or C++, or PHP or Ruby or a lot of these other ones, you write classes. And these classes form the basis of objects. And an object's an instance of a class. Now, when you want to do inheritance, you write a new class and extend that base class. In a prototype language like JavaScript, it's really different. There are no classes. Objects inherit directly from objects. Now, this is confusing for those that's coming from a classical language, but I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in future videos. Just bear with us for now. Just understand it is really different. Now, another difference is that when you write a Java program, you compile it, and it creates a file that contains what they call bytecode. JavaScript, you don't have to do that. It's just text. You deliver it as text. You don't have to do anything else with it. That bytecode is going to run in something called the JVM or Java Virtual Machine. It's going to be set up for each system, each operating system. JavaScript, on the other hand, is interpreted by whatever its parent is, whether it be a browser or something else. For web development, Java generally runs on the server. JavaScript generally runs on the client. But there are exceptions to this. There is something called applets, and they're designed to be run on the client. And that's for Java. However, they're not very common anymore because there's some security issues and other problems with them. And also, the tag actually for applet tag is now deprecated. And I think you're going to see it go all the way. I know it's at least deprecated. It may have gone all the way as of HTML5. Now, JavaScript has a few tools for server-side JavaScript as well. The most notable one is is Node.js. And I may talk about that maybe sometime towards the end of this video series. Now, another thing that's causing a lot of confusion about JavaScript is the names. JavaScript has a lot of names, and it has to do with historical ratings. First of all, JavaScript, the name, is actually copyrighted, and that copyright is owned by Oracle. Let me get back a little bit. Netscape developed the language, JavaScript. Now, for a brief period of time to protect themselves from with Microsoft, the two got together, and during that period, the term JavaScript was copyrighted by Sun, and they in turn licensed it to Netscape, the actual creators of the language. Now, when Netscape went out of business, those rights went to Mozilla, the people who now write Firefox, and Oracle bought Sun. So now the JavaScript name is owned by Oracle, and the JavaScript name is licensed to Firefox. So because they couldn't use that name officially, other browsers and other things gave this another language. So you'll hear other names for this language as JScript, which is Microsoft's implementation, LiveScript, but probably the most proper term for it is ECMAScript. And that's because the European Computer Manufacturing Association define and control the standard. And that's because, again, as a protection of Microsoft, Netscape went to them to hold the standard. They didn't want to go to the American National Standard Institute, the people who have the standards for most languages, because they felt that Microsoft had too much control. Turned out that was wrong assumption, but that's why they did it. So the current standard of this is ECMA 262, 5.1. So ECMA 262 is the standard. The version is 5.1. You'll hear this referred to most often as ES5. ES5 is fully supported by the current versions of the major browsers. However, anything prior to IE9, ES5 is not supported, and there's a few, as with most things of Microsoft, a few glitches on even its implementation in IE9 and after. It's a minor one, but irritating nevertheless. Now, so what that means is for older browsers, if you're going to have to support like IE7 and 8, you're going to have to use ES3. Why not ES4? Well, there is no ES4. There's a long story behind that I don't think this is the place to get into. Now, the browser is not the only place you can use JavaScript. You can use it in Adobe Acrobat. OpenOffice allows you to build macros with it. There's some programming you can do in AutoCAD with it. You can even develop phone apps for both Android and iOS with something called Titanium. And there's another thing that uses JavaScript for this as well, but I remember the name of it, and it's pretty new to me, so I don't know much about it. On the server side, there's something called Node.js that I already mentioned. So I think that's enough for now. So let's kind of summarize a little bit what I talked about. First of all, other than having some syntactical roots, JavaScript is in no way related to Java at all. Because of historical anomalies, JavaScript has a lot of names. And the JavaScript language is defined in ECMA 262. JavaScript is not limited to the web browser. And with that, I think we'll conclude this. The next one I'm going to do is going to be on tools and how to get JavaScript into onto your browser. And that's where I'm going to do most of the focusing on the series. We're going to focus mostly on JavaScript in the web, as that's where it's most often used. So without further ado, I hope to see you next time. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll try to get the next one of these videos out pretty quick. Thanks. Bye.